Hi, and welcome to today's Here's a Gizmo talk for the Merseyside Area Group. And today we're going to be looking at the MCP2515 CAN bus module. This is going to be used for the LCC demo plank. So this is part one, basic information. So the MCP2515 uses the SPI to communicate with the Arduino Nano. It requires 5 pins on the Arduino to work. We do this by connecting it to the DuPont connector, which can be seen here on the left. And as I say, we're going to connect 5 different pins. The first pin we're going to connect is the CS or chip select, and this goes to pin 10 on the Arduino Nano. Next we have the SO, which is master in, slave out, and this goes to pin 12. Then we have SI, which is master out, slave in, and this goes to pin 11. We then have SCK, serial clock, and this goes to pin 13. Then we have the int, or interrupt, goes to pin 2 on the Arduino Nano. We can also supply the 5 volts and ground from the Arduino shield to the ground and VCC pins. The next thing you'll see over here is jumper 1. Now this allows us to connect internal pull-up resistor on the board. So this is something that's very handy, and we will have a jumper on there. The other thing that we have here is we've got 2 different connections we can use for CAN H and CAN L. So that's a handy feature. The other thing to notice here is you might be able to just make this out. It states here this is an 8 megahertz crystal on board. Now some you can buy come with 16 megahertz, so you need to be careful on that. Our software, which we're going to be making available, uses the 8 megahertz crystal setting. We can change this within software, but this is what I would recommend. The 8 megahertz seems to work fine. So here you can see one of my nodes on my layout, and this is the shield I prefer to use for the LCC developments with the Arduino Nano. And this is the node on my loft layout, which is basically being tested. Once I've tested it and I'm happy, I then tend to add a small drop of super glue on here on the DuPont connectors only, and I do not let this get onto the actual shield or the MCP2515 module. So I'll just show you this example, which is a 1 servo and 12 IO node that I will probably be showing on the first demo plank. So here you can see where we're saying what pins are used for different things. So the servo would be on pin A5. Now the only bit really we need to understand for using with the MCP2515 is here we can, in the sketch, if we were using a 16 megahertz crystal, we would change this here to 16. Okay, I'll leave that back to 8 because that's all. Here you can see we specify the pin for the CS, so chip select. These here really you don't need to worry too much about, but obviously this one here is for your interrupt. So we use either pin 2 or pin 3 on an Arduino Nano. The code has been set up to use pin 2, so that we can use pin 3 for one of the other inputs or outputs. There's some buffers here, and the maximum you can have is 2, so really they should be set as defaults. And that's really all we have to set up within the code to be able to use the MCP2515 and have our CAN bus connection via the CAN USB 4 into JMRI.